right, old boy. Well, somehow we made it into 2023. God, happy new year everybody. And I haven't really put a video together properly since my little coverage of Who Brews Your Beer, or Who Brews That Beer, and actually looking at a depressing number of breweries that have folded last year, which is really still quite shocking, and doesn't seem like, oh, do you want this? Yeah. Doesn't seem like this year's going to offer much respite. If anything, it's likely to get worse. Price of grain gone through the roof, price of electricity and gas, well, gas not so bad, but electricity terrifying, and only kind of partially capped for businesses until whenever it is, end of March, I think. So yeah, it's not looking good for breweries and pubs and clubs and people in the hospitality trade who use a lot of electricity, so anyone in catering especially. But so what have I been doing? Well, not a lot. A few things have happened. I did this, I'll put it up on screen actually. I did Chris's Harry Brew 69, Chris's advent calendar again. Very, very good this year, as always. Andy came over. Stick a bit in there about Andy and the malt. With a delivery. Oh, and some oatcakes. Oh, do you know, you've no idea how much I've missed proper oatcakes. We've got Sarah and Andy who've turned up with a little bit of malt. Come back to that in a bit. Oatcakes. Yeah, that was Andy and the malt, and then we had fish and chips, and then Andy went. You've done, well, I've done hardly any video. It's since the last bit of video, we've unloaded all that, that's all in there, and then we went for fish and chips, and now Andy and Sarah are going. So cheers, guys.
See ya.
So nice to see Andy and Sarah over at the boathouse at last. And even nicer was the oatcakes. Got to admit, I'm a bit of an oatcake fan. Put all the cider stuff away, blah blah blah. Why haven't I been doing very much? Well, as some of you will know, when COVID kicked in, I had to bring a halt to a lot of the support groups that I was running, mainly because I didn't want to have super spreader incidents and then end up killing cancer patients, even though most of my cancer patients are terminal. I didn't think it was a good idea to expedite that further. And then post-COVID, I thought, well, it's going to be difficult to get those groups going again. So I didn't really start any groups as such, but I was doing the odd one-to-one session, and that kind of like turned into sort of like 1 to 2, 3, 4, and suddenly got a bloody group again. But I also found one of the big pressing needs is to support family and friends, because they do a lot of the work for us, or you know, they do a lot of the work really that needs to be doing with someone who's got a terminal illness. So I've been looking at developing support networks, I suppose, just where people can come have a coffee and actually talk about some of the issues that they're facing, some of the conundrums that throws up, and some of their fears and apprehensions, etc., with people who are experiencing the same thing. Are you ready for me to throw your ball, Marley? Are you? Yeah. So I ended up doing that as well, and then of course you look back at the end of a year and suddenly I've done bugger all of the stuff that I really need to do, and I don't know why. I'm not you know, the thing I really need to do is get the new boat Olin Water finished, and I haven't been on there really much since Simon was last up. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, a part of it, I suppose, is, well, I don't know. I won't go into that now. It's long-winded stuff. So this year I said, this year I would, for the first 6 months of this year, I would not do any of the support work. And my concern was, if I stop doing that, will those groups start up again? But I know they will, because they did after COVID, with very, very little input from me. And look at this daft lad. And so I don't have that concern that me sort of backing away a little bit. Some of the family groups are still going unofficially, sort of via things like WhatsApp and Facebook, so unofficially keeping together. So I'm trying to back away from that a little bit. We're only 2 weeks into the new year, and I've gone through that feeling guilty about shutting it down a bit, and I'm hopefully gonna get my arse into gear and sell the purple truck, get the boat finished, get the club open, for crying out loud. That's just, I don't know, just thinking about it, it's likely to send me into a depressive episode. So anyway, so that's pretty much where we're at. I have backed away from some of the support stuff that I do. Going to focus on the club, the boat, brewing, etc. Having said that, as these things go, of course, got a message earlier to say that someone I know has I think the euphemistic term we use is passed. They've died. Kind of knew they were ill. What I didn't know was that they'd asked if I would do the service, the funeral service, a non-religious funeral service, which is strange, because I would have, yeah. It's strange for two reasons. Sorry, I nearly dropped my phone then. 2 reasons it's strange. First is I didn't realise that they would want me to do their service. And the other strange thing is that they're staunch conservative. Not a Boris type conservative, it has to be said, far from it, but a staunch conservative. We had various interesting discussions over the years. So yeah, I shall miss them. Some people know who I'm talking about, which is why I'm also being a little bit cagey about it, because there is a problem that some people don't want me to do the service. But yeah, so a couple of weeks into 2023, and I know it's going to be a rough year for a lot of people. Hopefully I will be in a position to make the boathouse that place of safety, the place away from all of that shit which is outside the boathouse, with some good beers and some good music and some good company. Until then, you know what I always say, whatever you're doing, please do it safely and look after yourself and each other. Cheers.